Okay, in this video we're going to talk about applying ratio and proportion, which we discussed in the last video, but now we're going to apply it to dosage calculation. So ratio may be used to represent the weight of a medication that is in a tablet, capsule, or liquid form. So for example, one tablet has a weight of 0.125 milligrams, or that could be written as a fraction. Or we could list the weight first, that would also be fine. Okay. Or if we were talking about liquid, we might say 250 milligrams is in 1 milliliter of a liquid. And you could write that as a fraction as well. And then we can use these to solve for any of the missing values. So here I said one capsule contains 500 milligrams of medicine. So how many capsules is in 750 milligrams? So let's suppose that's x that we're trying to solve for. We could say 1 over 500 is equal to x over 750. We would cross multiply. We want to solve for x, and that's on the top already of that side. So move the 750 over, and we'll have x is 750 divided by 500. We can cross out the zeros. They both divide by 10. And then if we divide this by 25 and that by 25, we will get 75 divided by 25 is 3, 50 divided by 25 is 2. So 3 over 2, which is 1.5 capsules. Okay, next example. If 125 milligrams of a medication is in 2 capsules, how many milligrams is in 10 capsules? So we'll set it up. Make sure you include the units, because it's very important to get them in the same order. So if I put milligrams first and then capsules, I need to do the same on this side. I want to know how many milligrams are in 10 capsules. So we do need to make sure that milligrams comes first if I put it first. If I had reversed this, then I would have to reverse that. Okay, multiply by 10. So 1250 divided by 2. And then if you can't do this in your head, we could do long division. 2 goes into 1250. 2 goes into 12 6 times. Bring down the 5. 2 goes into 5 twice. Subtract, we get 1. Bring down the 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So x is 625. That subtracts to 0. 625 milligrams is in 10 capsules. And again, you can always check by means and extremes. Your means are your middle numbers, so we would say 2 times 625 is 1250. And extremes are the outside numbers, and they work out. Okay, the next example says if 90 milligrams of a medication is in 100 milliliters, then how many milliliters of a solution contains 250 milligrams? So again, it doesn't matter which one you put first, just as long as you do the same thing on each side. So milligrams came first, so 225 milligrams is 2. And we want to know the milliliters. So we'll call that X. So this would be 90 over 100 is equal to 225 over X. Now the X is in the denominator. We'll multiply that. And 225 times 100. Divide both sides by 90. Okay, I'll cancel out that. 9 into 2250. So 9 into 22 would go twice, that's 18. Subtract, we would get 4. 9 into 45 is 5. Works out evenly. We still have a 0 to bring down. 9 goes into 0, 0. So 250. So we'd say 250 milliliters. Okay, so the next example, if 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, then how many kilograms are in 118 pounds? So we would say 1 kilogram is to 2.2 pounds would be equal to, I want to know the number of kilograms, so we'll call that X. So 1 divided by 2.2 is equal to X divided by 118. And cross multiply, the X is on top already, so just leave it there. So this will be 118 divided by 2.2 is equal to X. Now, let's divide by a decimal long handle. Remind you how to do this. So this is 2.2 going into 118. Now we can't have a decimal here, you have to move it over, but if you move it over here, you have to move it over here. So this question would be like that. Now 22 goes into 11, it doesn't, so we go 22 into 118. So let's see, so how many 22s fit into 118? Well, 22 times 5 is 110. So we would say times 5, subtract 22 into 80. If we did 22 times 6, get a 132. Oh, that's much too high. More like 3. 22 times 3, 66. And yeah, 22 times 4 would be too big. So 3, 66. And if we subtract, we get 14. So we don't have any more numbers to pull down, and we can go in decimal. So what we would then do is put a decimal point, and we can add as many zeros here as we want. So 140, oh, the 6 will not work out, because 22 times 6 is 132. We can add another 0. Into 80 would be 6 again, 3. So that will be 66. And then I've got 140, which will be 6. I'm going 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. But if we want to round maybe to 2 decimals, so you need to go out to the 3rd decimal so that you know how to round this. So this is in kilograms, so we would say 53.6. Since that's bigger than a 5, we round up, so 64 kilograms. And you could use a calculator for all of this, of course, but I just want to do it by hand to show you how. Okay, so the next example, 0.5 milligrams of a medication is ordered. The medication is available in 0.2 milligram tablets. How many tablets will you give? So if the medication is 0.2 milligram tablets, so that means each tablet is 0.2 milligrams. And we want to know how many tablets to give if we want 0.5 milligrams. So this would be 0.2 divided by 1 is equal to 0.5 divided by x. Now the x is in the denominator, so we're going to multiply that. 1 times 0.5 is 0.5. Divide both sides by 0.2. 0.5 over 0.2, which is 5 over 2. Or 2 goes into 5 twice with 1 left over. So 2.5 tablets. Okay, we've got one more example. "30 milligrams of a medication is ordered for every 20 pounds of a patient's weight. How many milligrams will be given for a person weighing 240? So we have 30 milligrams for every 20 pounds. And we want to know how many milligrams if a person is 240 pounds. So we set up the equation, write it as a fraction, and cross multiply. Actually, let's reduce this first, I notice. So 3 over 2 is equal to x over 240. So now we can cross multiply. So 3 times 240 divided by 2. Now I could multiply this out, but I noticed that 2 goes into 240. So 3 times 120 over 1. So x is 120 times 3, which is 360. So that's milligrams. So we would need 360 milligrams for a person that is 240. Okay, so that's all the examples for this type.